All right, so the player we're going to be watching today is Sparkle on the Genji. See the comp, pretty much going to be a mirror match, I believe, here on King's Row. So he's going to go all the way to the top of the statue. Perfect. Spam, deflect, just no chance to die there. Just not much to do, really. Interesting, he's very focused on the shield trade here at the start. This is like a defensive KR, so he doesn't, there's not much he can do flanking wise. He stays with the team and he pokes shields. That's what he does. Dashes the halt and oh, look at that. Love that. Lands in the window after the dash, so he's safe. Let's just pause it here and look also a little bit. One of the other nice things that he does is he uses the deflect in this comp. He's like a Reinhardt with his team. And it was really the dash to the window with the deflect and this, with the dash on the halt, and then the deflect that's gotten him so far ahead in the ultimate game right now. He's twice what Sparkle has. I like how he's not forcing a commitment here. He's just trading. He doesn't even look at that Genji. He's not interested in that. He just rotates immediately back around, follows up on this call on Violet, and doesn't chase again. This is really nice from Sparkle. He's never overcommitting on one kill. Like, if Violet's going to go behind, he's just going to let him go behind. Which is actually a mistake I think a lot of people make, including myself, is when a player goes behind, you want to chase him down and get the kill. But Sparkle just ignores that, and clearly his team is calling a focus elsewhere, but it's one thing to know you should do that, and it's another thing to be ready to change your focus so quickly in the team fight. Go back for another kill. It's really nice by him. He's got the versatility to switch targets. His dashes are really nice. He makes sure that he... Something to highlight there. He makes sure that he always dashes on those halts, but he's going to dash into the ground in front of him so he doesn't go too far where he can't back up. So he just barely hits them with the dash and then immediately backs up because he doesn't want to die. So that's pretty nice from Sparkle. Now he's got Blade. All right, this is the test. Here we go. Halt up. Bashed. Rocked. This is what happens playing Genji. He does a really good job with that, though. Really good job. He takes the stuns, but he still has his deflect and he's got the armor to survive. Oh, okay. Hold on, we gotta watch that back. We gotta watch that back in the slow-mo. Holy smokes. Alright, this is one of those things that there's not too much to learn from. You just gotta be a god gamer. Just, oh! He just chops his head off. Just chop his head off real quick. Finds the next target, but man, that was dirty on the brig. Oh my god, don't tell me he's gonna live. There's no way, right? Yeah, no way, but still. So much value generated by Sparkle there. Killing the rally brig. Like, if that brig doesn't die, she's gonna do so much to help her team get supported. They might lose this fight, but it's close because of how much value Sparkle just got. Oh, big cleave in here. Oh my god, he's doing so much damage. Oh! Alright, this is a really good Blade. Alright, we're going to rewatch this Blade in slow-mo because Blade is a very fast-moving ultimate. And I think most people who are learning Genji, they struggle to break it down into its component pieces. So we're going to review this Blade at 0.25 and we're going to talk about the little details that, that Sparkle throws in to make this a successful Blade. First off, there's a nice example of his dash to the ground, right? Like, at this range, he could easily dash through these tanks. But he's not going to do that. He's going to dash and hit them right in the foot. Like, look, right there. See how he aims? He aims right at the Orisa's feet so that he stops and he's still... The Orisa is still in front of him. He doesn't go through her with the dash. Like, he might die if he goes through her here. So that's a perfect dash, and it finishes charging his Blade. But what's he going to do next, right? FD God died, so this is a rough fight. You need to get a lot of value to win this fight. Let's see what he does with the Blade here. Alright. So the first step is that... From the team synergy perspective, Benbest, this is like an ultimate space creation play. Benbest is in like full send mode. Like, I will bait for the Blade. And look at the shock players. Everybody is focusing Orisa. Like, clearly the call has been made. Focus Orisa, which makes sense. I mean, Benbest is so deep. This is going to be an easy pickup for the shock if they all focus him down. So it's good call from shock to get that. Every single player is focusing the same target. That's how you're supposed to play. However, Sparkle has other ideas. So he's going to pull out the blade, make sure he connects a slash with the drone. That is a little bit lucky, actually, that he doesn't get rocked here. That was very, very, very close to him getting rocked. And I think if he gets rocked there, he probably dies. But he manages to do it. He's alive now. And this is where this halt, oh God, look at that halt. Look at those little strings of the halt on everybody. And Rascal's committing the blade as well. But what's going to happen? Finally, he breaks the drone, right? The drone only dies now. It's like 3 hits into the blade, and only then does the drone die. But now, Rock is down, Bash is down, and all these players on Shock, they're all so low. This is super dangerous. And even Ben Best got saved by the drone from Fielder. So Ben Best's move, where he literally just ran through the house like this, was actually really smart. It baited a ton of attention from Shock, and it was a perfect opportunity for Fielder to save him with the drone. So Ben Best is still alive here. He's also going to throw in a deflect at this point because the enemy Genji is swinging on him. This is really nice stuff from Sparkle. Let's just get back to that spot. So, enemy blade just came out. Rascal's going to start hitting him, like for sure, right? That's why Sparkle pops the deflect here. He needs to protect himself, not only from random spam, but mostly it's from Rascal's blade. Because he could just die, right? He's below the threshold of just dying to the blade here. So he needs a deflect to block 1 hit. He blocks 1 hit and instantly cancels. Instantly cancels, and he's now going to have the first hit on the next target. And he's in the corner now. And at this point, Rascal actually went elsewhere with the blade. I think Rascal needed to focus down Sparkle here with the blade, but he doesn't. He leaves Sparkle, and then Sparkle is just going to get way more. Because the players from Shock are way too grouped. And he manages to get that finishing connection on the Orisa as well. But really what the most important detail of that blade was that he put the deflect in as the enemy Genji turned to hit him. Like, that timing on deflect in the blade is like the single most important thing that Sparkle just showcased here. Like, if you're going to take one thing away from this blade, it's that finding the moment in the blade when the enemy has all turned on you and they don't have their stuns anymore, like Rock and Bash are down, but now they're going to hit you with just raw damage. That's the moment you need to find to deflect. And Sparkle does this flawlessly. He is going to fall in the end, but he's done good work here, obviously. All right, let's continue on. Going to use the deflect. Nice little detail. Deflect is extremely good against the amplification wall. Like, extremely good. It's like a hard counter, kind of. He is going to die here, but he's just brawling it out with his team. This is like the correct play on Genji, even though he falls. If he doesn't fight aggressively there, this team's not winning the fight. And he might as well be aggressive, farm some blade charge, and then die in that fight, which he does. But the spawn advantage is a little too much for Shock, and they get a little too much value. But still, overall, great game by Sparkle. Now, this next team fight is actually a pretty challenging one, right? Shock has the rally advantage, and there's no counter, really. I mean, Hanbin has Flux, which could delay the rally and slow it down in terms of being aggressive for the Shock. But nonetheless, this is rally versus no rally. Sparkle's going to take some high ground. He pokes out, looks for the Widow, who might be in that high angle. She's not there. Shock's about to spring a big trap on them. Oh, this is rough. He tried to dash out, but he got caught by the Flux anyway. But his team is doing the work right now. You can see how focused he is on damaging the enemy Brig. That's like always, when he has a chance, that's his target every time, is putting pressure on the enemy Brig. Very important too that he resets here, stays alive, because he wouldn't be able to get back if he dies in this situation. Oh, that was very close. A little bit lucky even. Ons hit that shot, you'd be dead. Let's see, he's got Blade here. Does he want to commit though? It's a very awkward situation to be blading. He puts a ton of damage onto Rascal. Gets that kill with XZ, but it's just not enough. I don't love the choice to commit Blade there, but it ends up working out. Yeah, definitely a high-risk place to Blade. The really nice part about that fight, though, is that he's consistently matching the amp wall with deflect. Like, it's one of the best things you can do on Genji in the current meta is deflect on the amp wall. Here, that's an uncharacteristic mistake from Sparkle. He dashed a little too high. But that just shows how important it is to do what he's trying to do with dashing into the enemy's feet. This time he wants to go behind with the dash, it seems. He's going for a full commitment play. The last time I think he wanted to dash at their feet, but he just dashed a little higher than he meant to. But this time he wants to go behind because... Why? Because his team has a rally and his team is very strong. Like, his team is going to run in and like zerg them out. And he wants to run in and be a distraction because he knows if the enemy turns around and looks at him, they're going to get just plowed over by the rally from FD God. So in that case, he doesn't actually want to hit their feet. He wants to go behind them. And again, he's going to deflect on the amp wall, always matching that. And just reset when the rally is hitting him. Orissa's all alone here. That's a big move from Smurf when overextended through the shield. And the drone was a little late from Violet, but that was a great punish by Sparkle. He recognizes that the enemy Orisa has crucially stepped through Benbez's shield, which means for Smurf cannot get healed anymore, right? Once he's through the shield, he's not getting any heals from BAP. He could have gotten the drone, but he's not going to get healed. So that makes it a great target for Genji to come in and finish off. Now Fielder and Hanbin are delaying. So he goes to try and hunt down Ons. It's a good idea. A little too difficult to find the kill, though. He almost got that. This fight looks really rough, but it's just awkward enough with that Genji pick that Shock, it's hard for them to commit here. They don't have a big ult to blow. That pick from Onzo, like, this scenario is really desperate. And because it's so desperate, Ons is going to start looking at the flank. This is a nice blade. Oh, I'm going to talk about this blade. We're going to watch this one again. All right. This is a lesson in discipline, guys. This is a really great one to go over. You can learn a lot from this. A lesson in discipline, right? Let's look at the jumping. This is something people mess up a lot on Genji. Let's look at the jumping. So he jumps once. He's jumped once out the window. He has his double jump right now. What's he going to do? Oh, no, he's going to reset. Okay. So he resets his double jump. Jump once. Dash. Blade. Wait, jump. Okay, so what this does, guys, this late jump, when the blade is almost ready to be used, it's almost ready to swing. But he jumps right before this because that will give him the easiest time dashing into Choi and hitting these tanks right in the foot. And if you hit them right in the foot, then we'll see what he's able to do with that play. First, he gets a good hit on both tanks. But this is something that I saw a lot of Genjis over this last tournament do that I think is really smart. Because you don't have a nano boost, guys. Like, in this case, you don't have a rally. You don't have a supercharger. This is just a blade. That's the only thing you have here. So you're not going to get a team wipe with this. It's not going to happen, right? Or you shouldn't expect it, right? Look at the positioning from Shock. Very defensible. Twilight is protecting the squishies. There's not much he can do here besides put a ton of damage on the tanks and send them back. But he does like what he can and doesn't force too much. So first it was the foot dash, and now he's like a Reinhardt, right? Like, he's like just a Reinhardt swinging the hammer here. He's playing on the Sigma shield. Now he's playing in the drone. He's going to go out and hit and back. Between every hit, he's going to step back. Because remember, Genji is faster than his teammates. Because Genji has a faster move speed than anyone else besides Tracer. Little fun tip for you if you didn't know that. So he's very cautious about overextending. He does not want to go dash in and fight these guys in the backline because he'll just die if he does that. And at this moment, when he doesn't have a shield or a drone or another shield or a halt, like, he doesn't have an enabling ability that is going to protect him. So what is he going to do with the last half of the blade? Nothing. He's just going to back. This is actually perfect, right? This is the sort of thing that a lot of people won't do on Genji because they're too focused on trying to get a lot of value out of the blade. And sometimes there's just no value to be had. And so this is really intelligent by Sparkle because if he forces his hand here, he'll just die and his team will be down another player. He won't get anything else out of the blade. So forcing it when it won't work, there's no point in that. It's just a feed, even though you have blade out. Oh, that's a nice clear from him. He almost got gassed, but he was ready for the mine. Another dash on the halt, dash melee. Again, he's focusing all of his damage onto the Brig, which I'm sure is something that his team is calling as well. Now he's on the flank. Oh my god, I watched this. This is... Oh! Okay, there's not much to learn from this, guys, because Sparkle is definitely really, really good at Genji. So that particular sequence, I don't think you can learn too much from because It's just extremely aggressive. If he doesn't hit those shots, he doesn't get the dash resets, he could be in trouble, but he does, of course. It's good to be aggressive there in the final seconds. That's maybe the one thing to learn, but yeah, that's one of those things that, like, I could give you all the tips in the world, and you're going to have to practice a lot before you can do one of those. Let's see how he takes this offense, though. Pretty much just focus on the shield trade entirely. He's going to poke anyone when he can, but he's never overcommitting here. Just sort of whittling away. This is a beautiful rush right here from Paris Eternal. This is like a full team rush. I'm gonna go back and watch this a little bit, because this looks like a feed right when he does it. Right when he does it, it looks like a feed, but it's not, because it's a team play. This is the sort of thing that I would not advise in a ranked game, because it won't work in a ranked game. It's like a team play only. So dashing like this normally is going to get you killed, but the reason it doesn't is that literally everyone else from the Paris Eternal is about to just Zerg rush in. So Sparkle's confident that his team is going to get to him before he could die. So that's why he makes this play, dashing through to hit people in the back. This is like absolute maximum aggression, but he does it because, yeah, like whoever said in chat, apes together strong. That's a good way of looking at this play. This is an apes together strong. Look at this rush. I mean, Hanbin is leading. Like, they are going in. It's total chaos. This could go either way. But what I like about this play in particular is that, guys, like, on offense, on King's Row, you have major spawn advantage. And fighting like this is very unlikely to have a clean fight that you win dominantly. But it's very likely to trade kills. And if you just trade kills decently, you find 1 or 2 kills, even if you get team wiped for it, you might have a power play that gets you the point just because you have spawn advantage. So that's what makes this play so nice from Sparkle. The aggression, because it's team coordinated. Eggsy finds a pick off. Choi is so low, and the dash reset is back just in time. Yeah, Sparkle is really going in right now. Nice play from Ons to time that shot on the deflect. Oh, okay, yeah. So that's another play that I don't want you to emulate if you're learning Genji. You know, like, I don't want you to play like this because it's really hard. But Sparkle, he's so good at Genji, he can sort of push himself. That's something to know on Overwatch. You need to know your limits, right? You need to know your limits. And Sparkle can take this level of aggression because he is so good at the game. But just remember to be careful and cautious if you're gonna play this way. Like, if you're newer to Genji, you might not want to force things as aggressively as he does. But of course, it works for him because he has such good aim. That's the nature of Genji, right? If you hit those shots, you get a dash reset and you stay alive. If you miss the shots, you don't get the reset and you might die. Here's a blade. Oh, we're gonna watch this blade again for sure, but let's just watch it full speed. Oh, oh, this blade is beautiful. Wait a minute. We need to watch this again. We need to watch this again. That was really beautiful. This is S tier team play from Paris Eternal. S tier team play. Here's what I want you guys to know about this blade. Before we watch the blade, I want you to see this. I want you to see this. Look at this brain move. Look at this brain and a half move. Watch it a little faster. Look at this. Orisa and Brig are flanking together. Why do they do this, you ask? Why do they do this? It's all for this ability. This is exactly the reason they're here. They've got the Brig and the Orisa, the two most annoying heroes to kill, maybe in all of Overwatch, but certainly in the team comp that the Eternal are running. And they're together on the flank, and they drop a shield. But the reason this play is so good is because right now, you can understand why Sparkles goes for this blade, right? Like, now it makes 10 times more sense. Because the communication is there. Now it's like, oh, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good from a Genji POV. But it's not over yet, guys. Let's see what he does next. Alright. So first off, double jump and wall climb. Look at this. Look at that. Just that little moment. I want to watch that. Just that little moment again. I want to watch that little start of the blade. Look. Still has double jump. Still has double jump. Remember the timing Sparkle does. The blade is out, and only when the blade is about to be ready to hit, that's when Sparkle double jumps. Right now is when he can actually hit. he's going to stay off the ground for as long as humanly possible with this blade. And that is going to make it so Brig cannot bash him. And the instant bash from Brig is like the one thing that he cannot really counter or answer. So it's why he needs to avoid it. He baits the bash, I actually think, here. But he saves double jump. And he has wall climb. So he dodges not only Twilight, who can't bash him because he's up in the air, but he also gets right over the top of Choi's head and makes himself very difficult to stun for the Sigma. Misses the rock. And this is actually kind of bad from Twilight. This boop from Twilight actually aids the blade so much. Like, it gets them off, but yeah, he just has time to get his bearings and get a perfect combo from there. And this is just a cleanup. This is just cleanup. Jeez, he's so good. One thing to know about this Genji play is that a lot of what Sparkle's doing is only possible because of the team play around him. But some of it, like the wall climbs, the perfect double jump timings, knowing what to focus with the blade, knowing when to know your limits on the blade, these things are applicable in ranked, guys. They're applicable in whatever format you play the game. They're just personal Genji techniques that make it harder for you to get stunned, which is like the most important thing in the blade, is avoiding stuns. And that's what Sparkle has done so well here. Trying to just annoy Ons, a little deflag. Focus call comes into Choi. Choi gets isolated. Sparkle trying to finish on Choi. He does get rocked, but he's just done so much damage. And look at that, steals the Mega away. Man, he is so sharp with these shurikens. Ooh! Ooh! Damn, Ons is so good at timing this deflect. He's like really, really good. He still gets a body shot off like after the deflect. That's just like, Ons is so good at that timing. It's very, very hard to hit that timing, especially because Genji can cancel it whenever. Like, Ons is reacting to that. He's very, very fast. Oh, nice combo with his team. Nice little setup. He plays on that flank, and that Sigma kill is worth everything. Yes, it enables Rascal to cut down XZ, but really nice. That blade was very clean. He focused the Brig, and critically, guys, he stayed like inside of his team's shields. Like, as much of the blade as possible, he spent inside of his team's barriers. Like, the Sigma barrier is in front of him. He's not in the back line. He's just focusing down the Brig because she's pushed up. She's vulnerable. Let's just even watch that last blade again. I think reviewing the blades multiple times is really good because it gives a little bit more insight into something that's very fast moving and it's very hard to keep up. Watching at full speed, it's hard to explain what he's doing. And that's the nature of Genji. It's an incredibly fast moving hero. Like, the price of that pickoff on the Sigma is that his Widow dies here, but that's okay. It's like worth it here. Let's watch how he does this blade here. This is so important. Look at this. Look at the double jump timing. Oh, look at that double jump timing, guys. That is so clean. That bait out the bash from Twilight. He jumps in. Jumps just right as he enters Brig's bash height. That's the moment he jumps. Just only right then. Like, he spends maybe a millisecond at the height where Brig could bash him, but he hops out of there. And then baiting the bash out of Brig, not only can she not stun him anymore, but she can't get out, right? She can't use the bash to just get back. And that means that now she's kind of easy pickings. So with the bash baited, then he's not scared to dash to low ground and fight her at point blank. Right there, he makes priority sure that he hits the drone with that next hit because he knows this Brig is a kill if that drone breaks. And then, boom, drops him up. And look at that too. Look at that too. Oh, guys, come on. Look at that awareness. Look at that awareness. When does he see Widow? He sees a shot from Widow right now. He sees Widow shooting from right side of his screen. There's important things to do right now. Like, he has to hit. He can't deflect here or else he just do nothing. So once he baits the bash, he has to do this hitting. But look at this. Instantly when he gets this Brig kill, we got to go 0.25. As soon as he gets this Brig kill, boom, deflect up. Deflect up, guys. Most people aren't going to do this, guys. Most people are going to just hit an Orisa or whatever. This is such a high level of awareness. Like, yes, he's protected by the shield, but he doesn't necessarily know that. Like, the Widow could be in this right side angle or something. He's playing around shield really effectively as well. That's kind of his teammates. But this deflect, guys, this is so important on Genji, knowing when to pull this deflect, because he got the Brig kill. All he has to do, like, the fight is won, basically. You kill the Brig like this, and you have 5 players, you have everyone up on your team, you're gonna win, unless you die on Genji. Unless he gets headshot instantly right now. So he plays around the lose condition. He deflects. He gets his bearings. Like, the most important thing that he does with the deflect is he gets his bearings. He, like, starts to see what else is going on the map, and he manages to get one more hit onto Twilight, which enables this kill on the Twilight with that hit. But the deflect buys him time to look around safely, get his bearings, figure out where he's going with the last dash target. I like this, actually, this dash play from Sparkle. This is something where he knows he's gonna dash when he comes around this corner. He's gonna do it before he knows if a Widow's there. Like, he knows Ons is somewhere around the wall, right? But he knows if he just, like, walks around the corner and waits to see him, he's gonna get headshot and die, or there's a risk of that. So he's just gonna dash so incredibly early that Ons won't be able to react in time. And even though he misses the dash, it's fine, right? Because the way he would die there is dying on the first corner. Now it's incredibly difficult for Ons to kill him. Now Sparkle has a big edge. And even then, he's gonna throw in these shoulder peeks. Those little shoulder peeks, when he's peeking Ons, like, he's so cautious with Ons. He's never gonna give him easy shots. Look at this little shoulder peek from On's POV. Watch this, watch this. It's gonna be nice. So, obviously, in this case, Ons is not scoped in, right? Ons is backing, he's dropping a gas, he's playing defensive. But look at that. That's all. He would not have had a chance to hit a headshot there. It would have been almost impossible for Ons. So, Sparkle gets the information that Ons is using SMG, and that's why he continues shoulder peeking. But as soon as Ons goes into this mode, like, as soon as Ons backs off to a safe distance, Sparkle's just, like, on to other targets. He's like, okay, I don't care about you anymore. You're gonna go hide and spawn, I'm gonna go kill your teammates. He does exactly that, and it's round over. Yeah, just a really beautiful game, actually, from Sparkle, I think. Like, really impressive stuff. Like, if I was going to highlight some critical things to learn from Sparkle's Genji, the number one thing I'm going to highlight, which is something you should always think about, is how do you get enabled by your team? And this is what makes the Orisa comp with Genji so effective, is that he's enabled by the halts on the Dragonblade. Every single time. Every single time. If Sparkle is pulling out a Dragonblade, you better believe he's been setting up with Benbest to make sure that there's a halt there to enable him to get a big cleave hit. Or group up the enemies so that it's awkward for them to fight. So that's number one. Number two is, I would say, look at his double jump timings. He's always trying to double jump as late as possible and just double jump only when he's actually going to fall down low enough to get bashed by Brig. So because Brig obviously can only bash horizontally, he's saving the double jump for when he's just about to reach that height. He's going to double jump at that moment so that he can hit maybe 1 to 2 times before the Brig can even bash him. And he's going to even throw in the wall climb as like a mix-up to do the same thing. Like the double jump, hit. So he's going to dash up, he's going to hit, double jump, hit again, wall climb, hit again. He's got 3 hits off, guys, before the Brig could even bash him, like before it's even possible. And by that point, the Brig might have died. She might have been baited into bashing because he's playing it very close with the height. So he's basically making sure with those jumping techniques that he's going to get the CC out, whether it's the accretion from Sigma or the bash from Brig. He's going to get those out before he's actually committing to the low ground trying to finish kills. So he's making sure to get the CC out first, then he's committing. That ordering is so important. And then I would say the final thing to learn from Sparkle is when he doesn't commit with the blade. Like some of those blades, there just wasn't anything to get. He was basically just hitting tanks. But what it does is it makes Smurf and Choi Hyobin, makes them back off, makes them retreat, And even though Sparkle doesn't get any kills, he buys time for his team to regroup, get their cooldowns back, and get respawns. So all those things, it's like, if Sparkle forces the fight there and tries to dash into the backline for risky kills, most likely he's just going to die and his team's going to be down 1 and they might lose from there. So he has the discipline to recognize when the blade is not good. And maybe the only thing he can do is hit a tanks a few times, maybe break their shields a little bit. But that's okay. He's just going to take what he can get. And remember, I mean, Genji's not the worst shield breaker in the world with Blade, right? It's not something you think about a lot. But if you're hitting Orisa shield, Sigma and Orisa, if you're hitting those 4 things, that's a crazy amount of DPS that Blade deals. It's a shield trade, sure. You're not going to get kills or dash resets, sure. But that's still a relevant amount of damage that is actually going to give your team a lead in the shield trade, which is one of those things that you might not think about playing Genji. You might be wanting to dash in, but basically playing pretend like you're a Reinhardt swinging a hammer, where you don't even have the option to obviously jump in the back line. That's basically what you're simulating when you're Genji blading like that. And I think Sparkle does that well. He's got the discipline not to force a blade. That wouldn't be good. So hope you guys enjoyed this. That's enough. That's all for my review. But I really enjoyed this. It was fun to like get into the mind of Sparkle and sort of talk about the little details in his game that put him above the rest, that, you know, helped his team win that Summer Showdown championship.